Hello, my dear students. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Hope you are fine by the mercy of the Almighty Allah. Alhamdulillah, I am also fine. As a part of our online classes, I, Kaji Jalal Sir, English teacher of National Ideal School, will take a class on clause today. Yes, clause is a very important part of grammar because if you don't have knowledge on clauses, you cannot be able to understand the structure of sentences because clause has a very deep relation with the structure of sentences. That's why at first you have to know clause if you want to know the structure of sentences in a better way. That's why today I will take a class on clause. So let's start. My dear students, at first I have given the definition of clause. You can see on the board that a clause is a group of words having a subject and a finite verb. That means the part of a sentence which has a subject and finite verb is called a clause. A sentence can be many parts. A sentence can have many parts, and each part of a sentence is a clause if it has a subject and a finite verb. A finite verb is a verb which is limited by the person and number of the subject, and it changes its forms according to the tenses of the subject. So now we will see clauses are of three kinds: principal clause, subordinate clause, and coordinate clause. Now I will give you the definition of a principal clause. You can see on the board clearly that principal clause, the clause which has a subject and a finite verb and can express its meaning completely by itself, is called a principal clause. That means principal clause is the main clause of a sentence, because if you detach the clause from the part of the sentence, it can express its meaning completely. Just for example, you can see here is an example. Students go to school because they want to learn discipline. This is a sentence. It has two parts. One part is students go to school, and another part is because they want to learn discipline. Each part of the sentence is a clause. In the first part, it has a subject, students, and go, finite verb. That's why this part is called a clause, and this part is a principal clause, because if we detach this part from the sentence, it can complete its meaning by itself. Just you can say students go to school. So this is a principal clause, and especially it has a subject and a finite verb. So this is a clause, and it is a principal clause. Next, subordinate clause. So the definition of subordinate clause is the clause which can't express its meaning completely without taking help from a principal clause is called a subordinate clause. Just for example, we eat rice so that we may live. This is a sentence. It has two parts. One part is we eat rice, and the another part is so that we may live. Both of the part of this sentence is clause, because in these two parts we can see subject and finite verb. Suppose we subject, eat, finite verb. That's why this part is a clause. And here we subject, live, finite verb. That's why this part is also a clause. But so that we may live, this part can't express its meaning completely without taking help from this part. That's why so that we may live is subordinate clause, because this part cannot express its meaning completely without the taking help from this part. That's why we eat rice is principal clause. So principal clause helps subordinate clause to express its meaning completely, or in another sense, subordinate clause cannot express its meaning without taking help from the principal clause. So principal clause is an independent clause, but subordinate clause is a dependent clause. So now coordinate clause. The definition of coordinate clause is: if two similar types of clauses are connected by a coordinating conjunction, suppose and or but etc. These are called coordinating conjunction. Then each clause is called a coordinate clause separately. Here you can see that the man is poor but he is honest. Here in this sentence there are two parts. The man is poor and another is he is honest. These two parts are clauses of these sentences because the man's subject is his verb, finite verb. That's why this part is a clause. On the other hand, he is a subject and is a finite verb. That's why this part is also a clause. These two clauses are connected with each other by a coordinating conjunction, but you know, but is a coordinating conjunction. That's why these two clauses are called coordinate clause, because when two clauses are connected with each other by a coordinating conjunction, then each of the clauses is called a coordinate clause. So the man is poor is a coordinate clause and he is honest is also another coordinate clause. These two coordinate clauses are connected by but, which is a coordinating conjunction. So clauses, in this way, clauses are of three kinds: principal, subordinate and coordinate clause. And clause has a very deep relation with sentences, structure of sentence, especially because a simple sentence contains a principal clause. On the other hand, a complex sentence contains a principal clause and a subordinate clause. On the other hand, a compound sentence contains two coordinate clauses, especially who are connected with coordinating conjunctions. So I think you have understood from my lecture about clauses. In my next classes, inshallah, I will give you a lecture on another topic. Until then, Allah Hafiz, stay safe at home, because prevention is better than cure. So you must stay at home and don't go outside unnecessarily. Until then, Allah Hafiz, hope to meet you again with another topic. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.